We're going to see how far I can get by 12:30. So here we go. Maisey Yates, her wayward cowboy. I didn't say that in the last video. We left off with, "Can I see my son, please? Come on in," she said. She was different. The girl he remembered was wide-eyed and pretty. This woman was no less pretty, but she was not wide-eyed. There was an edge to her that she had never been there before, and he didn't know where it had come from. He wanted to ask. He found out that he wanted to linger with her more than he should. But then that had always been the case. Instead of lingering, he followed her into the kitchen where his son was sitting eating. He was surrounded by a huge spread, pies, cakes, and a big sandwich with what he was pretty certain was a tri-tip overflowing from the bread. "Hey, Dad," said Daniel. "This is not being a ranch hand," he said. "Being a ranch hand is staying in a terrible bunkhouse and eating beans from a can." "Not when you're a 13-year-old growing boy," said Arizona. "You cooked all this?" She waved a hand. "Hell no, my brothers are the grill masters. I would have thought you would have remembered that for all your drama about canned beans. My brothers grill. The Sullivan sisters do a lot of baking, and they share bounty around. Something else I would have thought you would have remembered." "I don't remember the Sullivan sisters much," he said, and he let that sit between them. Let her ponder that. She blinked, but all she could but that was only the indication that he had said all that. God, my eyes. This has been a day. She blinked, but that was the only indication that had said that had landed it all. "Well, they make good food." Clearly, he looked at his son, but who didn't even have the decency to look sheepish. But then maybe the kid figured this part of the normal ranch life, the pretty woman taking you in and feeding you. It was not. "Head back to the bunk, kiddo," he said to Daniel. "But it's really far," said Daniel. "You can drive the truck, and don't act like you can't drive now that you've driven cross country." His son shoved the last bit of his sandwich into his mouth, his expression suddenly keen. "Sure. Take 5 over there, and I want you to go and find Laundry King at one of the main barns. You remember where those are, and you ask him what you should be doing." "Yes, sir," Daniel said, bustling off. "You and I need to have a little talk, Arizona King." "Do we?" she said, her expression looking disingenuously sweet. "The thing is, I don't want you being easy on my son. He thinks that he wants to grow up. He thinks he wants to be a man instead of a 13-year-old boy. That is what he is. When he doesn't realize how lucky he is and that he doesn't have a dad that's making him work to earn his keep." "Yeah, look, I don't disagree with you. I felt sorry for the kid. That's why I brought him into the kitchen. He doesn't need a hard-ass lesson, Micah. That's the point. I want him to have a hard-ass lesson while I'm here, while we can still go back home and he can appreciate the fact that he doesn't live as a harsh enough life to have to go work on a ranch 24/7. I don't even make him work at mine. Then why did you want to come here? I assume he got into it with his mom." She crossed her arms beneath her breast. He wasn't going to think about them. He really wasn't. "Right. Well, have you asked him about it? Have you asked him why he wanted to be here? Have you asked him what he wants?" "He wants to work here," Micah said, "and damned if I really know why. I guess I told him some stories about the place, and he seems to think, I don't know, maybe he's having a hard time at school." He suddenly felt a little bit ashamed that he didn't know that about his son. "He lives with Lacey most of the time. Not my choice, it's the court's. He stays over there the summer when school gets out, so I haven't seen him for a while. His mom is a particularly difficult case." "You're not with her anymore?" "No," he said. "How old is he exactly?" 13, I see. For what it's worth, I didn't know about him when I was here. Once I did know, I left. So you were 18. "I don't understand what that has to do with anything." "I think you do," he said. "Oh, what?" She snapped. "The whole you disappearing without saying a word thing, that you didn't owe me anything. But you're mad at me. Maybe I thought there was something between us, but I recognize now that it was silly, inappropriate. Even you're a lot older than me." "I know," he said. "I'm well aware of the age difference, thank you, as I was then. But are you going to tell me there wasn't anything between us?" He cleared his throat. "No, I can't tell you that because there was. But then the night before I left, I got the call from Lacey. She was 8 months pregnant, and she figured it was time to tell me she was having my baby. So I went back. We tried to make it work again. It doesn't work between us. She isn't the kind of person who can have a stable relationship. She doesn't. She does not thrive in that space. Meaning what? Meaning she likes drama, and a lot of men is a lot of drama. One man less, and I don't care. I don't share. Oh, she said. Yeah, whatever. It's not about her. This is about Daniel. He's why you left, she said. Yeah, he said, he's why I left. And the moments stretched between them. And Arizona King, the reason that he remembered this place so well, of all the places he lived, of all the places he worked, had just confirmed the thing that he always wondered, if she thought about him the way he thought about her. He felt like an ass at the time because he had no right to look at her like he had no right to want like he had, and he definitely had no right to kiss her. He hadn't been a man then, but he's been too old, and it was a combination of those things that made it absolutely impossible. He had grown since then, made a lot of mistakes, and done his best to atone for them. And then there was Arizona. The mistake that he wanted to make. Hell, he wanted to make it so bad he'd ached with it, but he hadn't. He only kissed her once, and he never taken it any further, but he did dream of her. He still did, if he was honest. He took a step toward her, and she took a step away. Hey there, buddy, she said. I don't think we need that kind of anything. I'm not looking for it. Sorry, I was just thinking that you should be easier on your kid. I get that in general, but this is all kind of this in service to being easier on my kid. You want to make him leave? Is that it? Yeah, he said, I do. Well, I guess that is the better than having a conversation. I don't get your investment. I don't know, she said, growing increasingly prickly. I don't know what my investment is either. You're just some guy that I used to know, and not particularly a special one. But you did make that kid a promise, and trying to manipulate him, what's that going to do for him? I'm not trying to manipulate him into anything bad. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. How can you not understand that? The point is that you're manipulating him, and that is the kind of shitty thing to do. Believe me, Gentry King, my father is a master at that sort of thing. He just wants you to do what he wants. He's not interested in knowing you, and he's not interested in what you care about. He's the king after all. I remember that. And that you had some issues with your dad. She looked angry. That he remembered. Yeah, he's great to work for. He's an asshole if he's your dad. I didn't have a dad at all. I try to be there as much as I can, and I try to guide him. I'm not trying to be a hard ass, but a man has to walk the line. Right, well, I guess you aren't my dad. No, he said, his voice hard, I'm not. Whatever, you promise this kid, and believe me when I tell you, if you want to have a good relationship with him, then maybe you should take that promise seriously. I do take that promise seriously, and you know I recognize that I'm going to have to deal with custody issue again now that my ex-wife let him drive cross country without ever checking in on him. You married her? There was something on her face that looked hollowed. I tried to do the right thing, he said, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't marry her in part because I wanted to make sure I got a fair shake when it came to custody. I wanted to be an ex-husband, not just an ex-boyfriend. It felt like it might carry more weight. Right, well, I don't know anything about that. And you know what I do. What do I know about kids? All I know is that I was a pretty miserable one. Well, I hope you're a less miserable adult. She laughed, and there was that bitter edge to it. Depends on who you ask. Chapter 8. Arizona still felt breathless by the time Micah left the kitchen. She was angry at him. She had no call to be, and he had never owed her anything, and now she had an explanation for why he had left all that time ago. She had no right to be mad. She had no right to have expected anything from him. He had gone back home to claim custody of the kid, and that was admirable as it was. We'll stop there and start again later.